Your budgie used to come closer, step onto your finger, sit near you, watch you from across the room. But now, the moment you move closer, they move away. The moment your hand approaches, they retreat. And suddenly you start wondering, did I do something wrong? For many owners, this is one of the most confusing behaviors a budgie can show, because it feels personal, almost like rejection. But here's what most people don't understand. When a budgie moves away from you, it usually isn't because they dislike you. In fact, some of the birds that trust their owners the most still move away sometimes. The real reason, often has nothing to do with affection and everything to do with instinct. These are the 6 hidden reasons your budgie keeps moving away from you, and understanding them could completely change how you build trust with your bird. Let's start with the reason most owners accidentally create themselves. 1. You're moving faster than your budgie. Can process humans don't realize how intimidating we are. To your budgie, you're enormous. Your hands are larger than their entire body. And when humans move, we move fast. A hand reaching toward a budgie may feel gentle to us, but to a prey animal, it can look like something rushing toward them at incredible speed. Their brain doesn't have time to analyze intentions. It simply reacts. Move away, create distance, stay safe. That's why some owners say, my budgie loves me when I'm sitting still, but moves away the second I reach for them. The trust isn't gone. The movement is simply triggering an instinct older than trust itself. And the faster the movement, the stronger the reaction becomes. Sometimes slowing down by just a few seconds changes everything. 2. Your budgie is reading your energy. Here's something surprising. Budgies don't only watch what you do. They watch how you do it. Your posture, your breathing, your voice, your emotional state, all of it. Have you ever noticed your budgie acting differently when you're stressed? Maybe they're less willing to step up, less interested in interaction. That's because flock animals constantly monitor emotional signals. In nature, a nervous flock member can indicate danger. So when your energy changes, your budgie notices immediately. Sometimes before you notice it yourself. And when something feels different, they create distance until they understand what's happening. Not because they're afraid of you, because they're trying to gather information. 3. They're not avoiding you. They're testing you. This is where many owners misunderstand budgie behavior completely. A budgie moving away doesn't always mean fear. Sometimes it means caution. Think about how trust works in the wild. Birds don't hand out trust instantly. Trust is earned through consistency. Again and again, when your budgie moves away, they may actually be asking a question. Will you respect my space? And your answer determines what happens next. Most owners fail this test without realizing it. The bird moves away, the owner follows. The bird moves again, the owner keeps reaching. Now the budgie learns something important. When I ask for space, it isn't respected, and trust decreases. But when a budgie moves away and you allow them the choice to return, something changes. The bird begins feeling safe around you because safety requires control. And budgies value control more than most owners realize. Point 4. Something scared them recently. Budgies have excellent memories for emotional experiences. Especially frightening ones. Maybe you grabbed them unexpectedly. Maybe they flew into a wall. Maybe a loud noise happened while they were near you. Maybe someone else in the house startled them. The event may seem minor to you, but your budgie's brain stores fear differently, and sometimes they begin creating distance from situations associated with that experience. This can confuse owners. Because the change seems sudden. Yesterday everything was normal. Today the bird avoids them. But often the real cause happened days earlier. A single negative experience can temporarily make a budgie more cautious, especially sensitive birds. The good news? Trust can usually be rebuilt, but it requires patience, not pressure. 5. They might not be feeling well. This is one owner should never ignore, because sometimes moving away has nothing to do with behavior. It's physical. When budgies feel unwell, they often become less social, less playful, less interested in interaction, not because they don't love you. Because conserving energy becomes the priority, a sick budgie may move away from hands, avoid stepping up, or spend more time resting, especially if the behavior appears alongside puffed feathers, reduced singing, sleeping more, changes in appetite, lower activity levels. Budgies instinctively hide illness, so behavioral changes often appear before obvious symptoms. That's why sudden social withdrawal should always be taken seriously. Sometimes your bird isn't avoiding you, they're struggling. 6. Your bond is changing. And that's normal. This is the reason that surprises people most. Sometimes a budgie moves away simply because they're becoming more confident. When budgies first arrive in a new home, owners become their entire world. Everything is unfamiliar. Everything feels uncertain. So they stay close. But as confidence grows, their behavior changes. They explore more, fly farther, become more independent, make their own choices. And some owners mistakenly interpret this as losing affection. It's often the opposite. A confident budgie doesn't need constant reassurance. They know you're there, they trust you'll remain there. And because of that, they feel comfortable exploring life beyond your shoulder. Real trust doesn't always create clinginess. Sometimes it creates independence. And that's a sign of success, not failure. Here's what most owners get wrong. They assume every movement away means rejection. But budgies don't think that way. Humans attach emotional stories to behavior. Budgies attach survival, meaning safety, comfort, curiosity, energy, health. That's what they're responding to, not the complicated emotional narratives humans create. So the next time your budgie moves away, don't immediately assume you've done something wrong. Look at the bigger picture. How are they acting overall? How is their energy, their posture, their confidence, their environment? Because one movement rarely tells the whole story. What matters is the pattern. A budgie that moves away occasionally but still chirps, plays, eats, and interacts normally is usually communicating something very different from a budgie that withdraws completely. And learning to recognize that difference is what separates experienced bird owners from everyone else. Your budgie isn't trying to hurt your feelings. They're communicating. The only challenge is that they're speaking a language built from instinct instead of words. And once you learn how to read that language, their behavior stops feeling confusing. It starts making sense because the truth is, most budgies don't move away because they dislike you. They move away because they're responding to something: fear, caution, stress, independence, health, instinct. And the owners who understand those signals are usually the ones who build the strongest bonds over time. So if your budgie has been moving away lately, don't focus only on the distance. Focus on the reason behind it, because that's where the real answer is hiding.